Hey everybody, today is Monopoly Monday. Today's Monday, so we do Monopoly. Monopoly Monday. Or it's Marvel Monday. Or some kind of Monday. Anyway, we have Umbambe Wakanda Forever! Umbambe Wakanda Forever. Choose a side and battle. You can be the Wakandans, or you can be the Atlanteans. Comment down below. Now, Atlanta's all Atlantean, literally. So this is like Namor and stuff, and Black Panther, he's gone and stuff. So I don't know why it's called Black Panther. Still going with Black Panther when Black Panther's dead and stuff. Because the actual actor died, so they had to implement that Black Panther died, which they could have just replaced him with a different actor instead of that. But I digress because the movie's not really. The movie has a lot of girl power, feminist implications in it, where his sister basically is taking over the role of the thing when the other Black Panther could have come back, the bad guy who got kind of, I think he died. He did die, but they didn't have to kill Black Panther off. They could have had the actor who played the bad Black Panther just be the new actor to play the same original Black Panther. Because the actor who played the Black Panther died. And that actor that died in the movie is the bad Black Panther, being killed by the good Black Panther. But realize could just replace the actor who played the good, who and they could have still had Black Panther. Okay, well, that's 2 minutes of just rambling on about stuff that has nothing to do with the Monopoly game, I guess. Another thing I would like to see is, since this is the movie was basically essentially a war between the Atlanteans, Namor, and the Wakandians. I would kind of like to see maybe a Black Panther, Wakanda Forever risk type deal. That would be kind of cool. And that's 3 minutes. So you're battling for vibranium. Play on the side of the Wakandans or the Talakano, which the Talakano they're basically the Atlantis, right? In an epic crash across land and sea. So another thing that just out of curiosity, comment down below who you think would win. Would Namor and the Talakanos, Atlanteans, would they win? I got this. Or would Aquaman and the Atlanteans from DC win? I mean, if the two forces of Atlantis were to basically fight, who do you think would win? Personally, I think the DC Atlanteans would kick the Marvel Atlanteans' butt. If we're talking about movie versions. Now, if we're talking about comic book versions, I don't know. They're probably equal in strength if we're talking about the comic book versions. Okay, so you have these like vibranium chips here. You have the rules here. Now, with the Marvel Cinematic Universe compared to the DC Cinematic Universe, I believe the DC characters are more OP than the Marvel characters, and that the Marvel characters are more they try to make them more realistic in the MCU, which is weird because the MCU doesn't really try to be comic book accurate, while the DCU tries to be more comic book accurate. And it's kind of also weird how people didn't like the X-Men franchise as much, but they like the MCU. When the MCU tries to not be necessarily comic book accurate, but the X-Men franchise was actually more comic book accurate. Yeah, just interesting take on it, um, on the movies anyway. So it looks like you have Talokan cards and Wakanda cards, and you have an underwater mining site, cargo ship, Anika's house, naval river outpost, senator entrance, visitors quarters, Jetbari outskirts, the Jabari Council, Talakana Gardens, their market, the Little River Market, North Triangle, Namor's Memorial Hut, Namor's Throne Room, Series Lab, and the Tribal Council Room. That would be our different locations in this game. Okay. They're trying to use less plastic, so for environmental reasons or something. So because you can, I guess this is biodegradable and recyclable or whatever. Another thing Monopoly has done that I don't exactly agree with is that they are now making all Monopolies two spots, which is basically essentially they're making them. They got rid of the rail. If you notice that they almost got rid of the railroads. See, these are just, I don't even know what those are for because they're not even properties anymore. But you have them, but they're not properties that you can buy. So I don't. So what are they, just free properties now? I don't get it. Maybe the rules will tell me what they do, but so a lot of these monopolies are basically, they're kind of trying to make junior versions, it seems like, and so they're making all properties too. So that kind of messes up the original strategy of Monopoly. By doing that, that's one thing I kind of dislike with all the new Monopolies is the board is smaller, which messes up the strategy because the gameplay is still the same, which means since the gameplay is still the same, you've messed up the original strategy to how you would play the game. This one is a little different already because we only have one die, which means you can only go up to 6 spaces. That's kind of different. It's a nice die. You also have these, I suppose these are markers for when you take over a territory. They're kind of neat. You got these purple ones for the the Talikans. I don't know why they changed them to Talikans. Or are the purple ones supposed to be the Talikans? Or the purple ones are supposed to be the Wakandans? My bad. You have these little pyramid structures for the Talikans, which they're supposed to be Atlanteans. So I just don't understand. That personally just don't quite understand. Actually, these red little pyramid spots, they look like they work like Monopoly Junior does. So they're basically trying to do more Monopoly Junior-ish deal. Anyway, and I don't really like it, but we also have 6 tokens here, and we have a shark. That's kind of cool. We have a winged feet. That's kind of cool, and we have the crown, and that's for the Takandan, the Talikans. Then we have the Iron Hearts thing. We have a little breastplate here thing, and we have the arm gauntlets, and that's for the Wakanda. That's about everything that the game comes with. And each card, depending on whether you're a Wakandan or a Telekano person, has different things on there. Like that one is it's a get out of jail free card for one, but it's a go to jail card for another. This is interesting. So the game's still the same basic premise where you got to bankrupt the other player. I believe that is the name. But like I said, if this is supposed to be a war, it would have been better for them to make a Risk version of this instead of a. They still haven't made an Infinity War Risk. They made that MCU Risk, which I have, which is it's okay, but it's basically it's just the Battle of New York with a few little additional elements to it. And then they made that Civil War Risk, which was basically just the airport battle, and it's not even really Risk. I mean, it's Risk, sorta, but it's kind of sorta not Risk too. Kind of like how they made that new Star Wars Risk that's Risk, but it's also kind of not Risk. Anyway, they should have made a Risk Wakanda Forever, where you actually played as the Wakandan forces and the Telecon forces. I think that would have been cooler than making a basically a Monopoly Junior. What y'all think? Anyway, that's basically I'm doing more ranting and rambling about this particular about the movie franchises and whatnot than I am actually. Even though I did show y'all everything to the game, so I did do a thorough unboxing. So you can't say I didn't do a thorough unboxing. So I did do a thorough unboxing. Just think that they went the wrong route. I think Monopoly or Hasbro, whatever, is going the wrong route with these games by making a whole bunch of Monopolies instead of making other games that match what's actually going on in the movie. The movies and the series on the Disney shows are all about war. So why aren't they making more war games? They're all about battles, fights between superheroes and supervillains. So why aren't we making more battle type fighting games? Why are we making weird Monopoly games that are just cash grab Monopoly Junior versions, in my opinion? That's not a 6 on the scale. That's a 1, if not a 0 on my scale, because you're making Monopoly, but you're not even keeping the classic rules of Monopoly. You're changing Monopoly from being Monopoly. I know you're trying to make it easier, faster, or whatever, but it just seems like you're taking away from traditional Monopoly with your new style of Monopoly. It's just me. Anyway, remember God is good all the time. All the time, God is good. Keep on gaming. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Jesus loves you. Jesus God. Jesus Lord. Jesus King. Jesus is the ruler of everything. And have a great, wonderful day. So games that they would be better to stick with would be like Hero Clicks, Heroscape. Actually, they should bring back Heroscape. Maybe some kind of battling dice game or battling card game or like Risk, or better yet, y'all own like Axis and Allies, right? And you own like games of the nature of Axis and Allies. I kind of personally would really, really enjoy seeing. I know how you make versions of Risk, which is cool and all. It's easier probably to make a version of Risk than it would be to make a version of Axis and Allies. But wouldn't it be kind of interesting to make futuristic versions of Axis and Allies, or to make alternate universe versions of Axis and Allies? I know basically it would be Risk. It would be a rethemed version of Risk, but you would basically be taking a superhero theme or a television theme, like say Game of Thrones, for example, and you would be basically implementing the rules of Axis and Allies within that universe, or possibly a video game theme, like Call of Duty, which has got a lot of modern warfare themes and elements. Instead of having a Risk version of it, wouldn't it be cooler to have a Axis and Allies themed Call of Duty, or an Axis and Allies themed War on Terrorism version? Or, instead of all the Axis and Allies themed, only set in World War One or World War Two, or some of the various Axis and Allies themes are basically the one battle or something that happened. Uh, Maybe a space science fiction-y show, Axis and Allies. Maybe I know there's a lot of Star Wars games out there, and I believe they have a couple of them that are maybe close, like Star Wars Rebellion, I believe, is one, and then there's another one, but I heard it plays almost exactly like the movie, which movies or whatever, so that it's but like maybe a Axis and Allies themed Star Wars, or maybe even an Axis and Allies themed Star Trek type game, or various different other science fiction franchises. Maybe even alternate history. Wouldn't that be kind of neat? An alternate history Risk or alternate history Axis and Allies type game. Now I'm just rambling about types of games that would be kind of cool that I think I would see. So you're probably not even listening to this part. But just out of curiosity, if you've reached this far, what other type of games besides the generic vanilla games would you like to see? Like, they retheme stuff like Life, Monopoly. They retheme like stuff like Sorry, Trouble. All these games, Operation. They just reskin and retheme a whole bunch of classic traditional children's games. Problem with that idea is that the children are not the ones playing games. They're playing like video games. board games, tabletop, and whatnot they're played by adults. So more board game, tabletop type games should be more rethemed into games where they're cooperative, semi cooperative, or played against one another. Like Clue, that's another one that's rethemed a lot. But I'll just throw that up. Cooperative, semi cooperative. Like, okay, for example, Catan is like hugely popular. So, which they did do, but I think it was an epic fail because while Catan is extremely popular, it doesn't work very well with a rethemed, with basically pasting another theme on top of Catan and having Catan. Just like I don't think Ticket to Ride, even though it would have cool pieces, I don't think if you like pasted, say, Star Wars or Star Trek theme on it, would it be worth buying, except for the trains would be spaceships, which would be cool spaceships tokens, but other than that, there really wouldn't be any good of retheming it. Just throwing that out there. Just like Catan, yeah, they made a Star Trek Catan, but the only thing it's got in it that makes it even worth buying is the fact that you get all these like spaceships in it. I mean, but then you only got one Cleon ship, which kind of sucked. I mean, the models of the ships were amazing, but the game's just still Catan. Just like the same with the children's classic games, right? So what we really need is rethemed versions of more adultish war games and more adultish uh, cooperative games that actually a bunch of adults would get together and actually play, which a lot of adults play stuff like they play like card type games, and they play like semi cooperative games. They play games that have like miniatures. They play tactical miniature games. They have games that are team player where the team works together, but they also have games where it's hidden traitors and different things like that. I'm just saying that from a tabletop board gaming perspective that these are cash grabs. Give us adults something we would really want. Give us an actual game that makes us simulate and feel like we're in the actual movie, book, TV series, or video game that the theme is actually about. So, not just rethemed, pasted over classic kids type games, if you understand that. Anyway, that's enough rambling because it's 20 something minutes of rambling. So, and y'all probably ain't gonna watch it that long. Anyway, or unless y'all are gonna think it's how to play, but it's really just an unboxing. Anyway, anyway. I'm making the video longer by saying more stuff. So I'm trying to stop it at 25 minutes. God is good all the time. All the time. God is good. Keep on gaming. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Jesus loves you. Jesus is God. Jesus is Lord. Jesus is King. Jesus is ruler of everything. Comment down below your favorite Wakandian. And comment down below your favorite Talacon. And comment down below who you think would win in like an all-out global war assault type game. Realistically, between them and between the two different kinds of Wakanda, not two different kinds of Wakanda. And I guess for fun and games, there's a couple of other factions that we could throw in this risk because there is Magneto has his own island with his mutants, and then Doctor Doom is the king of Latveria. So that that's two more nations that we could add, and there's some more nations. There's like fictional nations. I mean, it's kind of like asking from the DC Comics universe. I know I'm going over 25 minutes now. Who would win in a battle, the Atlanteans or the Amazonians? And then, you know, just just like it's kind of like doing that. I mean, like really, it's kind of like I mean, it's kind of a semi decent question. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video and have a great, wonderful day. That is all. Till the next video.